Squares and roots. In this video, we're going to review the squares that we've been working with and start talking about how to find square roots using graph paper and a drawing. For this video lesson, you're going to need math notebook, pencil with an eraser, and you can use a pencil for shading, or I like to use a colored pencil, crayons, or markers, especially with your notes. You'll also need graph paper. If you want to cut out and glue your samples into your notebook, then you will need scissors and a glue stick as well. We're going to review 3 by 3. So shown here, we have 3 wide and 3 tall. So 3 times 3, or 3 squared, can be solved using a grid to get 9. So 3 squared equals 9. Again, here we have 4 high and 4 wide, 4 by 4. 4 squared, or 4 times 4, equals 16. 5 wide and 5 tall is how we would demonstrate 5 squared, or 5 times 5, which gives you 25. When you're trying to find the square root of a number, you are looking for a number times itself that will give you that number. So for instance here, we have 4. The number 4 represented by outlining on a grid 4 different blocks in the shape of a square. The square root of 4 is the number times itself that will give you 4. 2 wide and 2 tall. So the square root of 4 is 2. This one would represent the square root of 9. When you are trying to find the square root of 9, you need to outline 9 blocks on the graph paper in the shape of a square. The only way you can outline 9 blocks in exactly a square is to have 3 wide and 3 tall. Another way to show the square root of 9 is the number of diagonal blocks there are in a 3 by 3 grid. 1, 2, 3. Those are shown by the blue blocks here. The square root of 9 is 3. The square root of 16 is the number times itself that will give you 16. In order to represent this on your graph paper, you would outline 16 blocks in the shape of a perfect square. The only way to do this is with 4 high and 4 wide. The square root of 16 is 4. The square root of 25 is 5. 5 wide and 5 tall. When you outline 25 blocks in a grid in the shape of a square, it will have a diagonal of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which means it is 5 wide and 5 tall as well. Later on, you're going to learn how this works with negative numbers. Remember our rule with multiplication: a negative times a negative is a positive. And we'll talk more about how square root values can actually be negative. Let's try some together. Use your graph paper and work these out, and use your multiplication facts that we have been learning too. So what is the square root of 49? Here's a hint for this one. You're going to outline 49 grids in the shape of a square. So they need to come out exactly in the shape of a square and be exactly 49. You're looking for the width and height that will be the same number. Another way of thinking about it is what number times itself will give you 49. You may pause the video now if needed. What is the square root of 49? The square root of 49 is 7. 7 wide and 7 tall make 49 total blocks. The square root of 49 is 7. Let's try another one, the square root of 100. Try this first with your multiplication facts and then demonstrate it with a grid showing the diagonal to check your work. Okay, so the square root of 100 is 10. When you have 10 wide and 10 tall, it leaves a diagonal of 10. 10 times 10 is 100. You may remember this with our 100 grid with decimals. 10 by 10 is 100. All right, it's your turn to try some. Pause the video and use your multiplication facts and your grids to show how to solve the square root of 64, 81, 35, and 144. Start the video back when you're ready to check your answers. All right, so let's see how you did. The square root of 64 is 8. The square root of 81 is 9. The square root of 36 equals 6. The square root of 144 equals 12. See me or a neighbor if you have any questions. Have a good day.